everyone, and welcome to this summer quarter's 2020 LRC Roundtable Series. I am Miss Cassandra, the LRC coordinator, and we also have Mr. Robert Overstreet and Mr. Andrew Burton here. Would y'all like to introduce yourselves?
My name's Andy Burton. I'm the program director for pharmacy technology, and I've been involved with these roundtable discussions. We've had a really good time doing it. So I'll pass it on to Dr. Mitchum. He's just joined in. If you want to give a brief introduction.
Hey, for those, I'm just now joining. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I was on another call. But I'm Dr. Mitchum. I'm Dean of Academic Affairs for the Murfreesboro campus and campus director. So my functions, I'm do everything possible at the campus to ensure a good learning and good cultured environment.
Hello, I'm Robert Overstreet. I'm the Criminal Justice Program Director, and I'm happy to be here. We've done this a couple of times on campus, so it's going to be interesting for all of us to do it from our home. So we'll see how we do on this one.
Yeah, so we are live on this, guys. So any little bugs, glitches, I'll totally take the credit for that. This is my first time recording one just to see how it goes. So this theme is, of course, get involved. So I'm sure many of our students are familiar with this is an election year. You know, it's everywhere right now. We're in the middle of the Republican convention. Democratic convention was last week.
Right.
And really, what we're trying to do on campus, it's not just to focus on getting involved politically, though we do have some opportunities for what I like to call, civic engagement. So really to open, what are we going to talk about today? So what does it mean to get involved? And I say the easiest part of that is it's learning how to give back. So when you get involved, you learn the art of giving back. And that's really what it's all about. And there are also a lot of great opportunities, with that. It looks great on any resume. We have clubs here for you, and we'll get into all of that in just a second. So hopefully my little video loads for you guys. So I always try to find, a resource, an extra source of someone else to show you that we're not alone in thinking this way. So a lot of people, when they hear the word activist, they're like, man, I don't want to step on toes, right? So you don't have to put an adjective in front of it every time. So it's not being just a political activist, right? So you can be an activist for anything, the climate, health insurance, health rights, criminal justice. So you can be any activist you're passionate about. And that's what these two individuals talk to us about and how they've kind of built their family around it. They've also, they promote a children's book. So me being a librarian with that background, it's really cool to see what this family has done.
We have to really be thinking about.
Okay, guys, so sadly the video isn't loading right now, so I will add this in the resources when I send this to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and skip on to our next slide. So the key part about getting involved on campus, especially during this current climate we're in with COVID-19 and everything, communication is key. I know you guys hear us say it all the time about your classes, but it's not something you just need to do whenever you're, behind in assignments or confused about an assignment. We're here for all of your communication needs. So if you're someone who wants to get involved on campus, first reach out to us, let us know. And keep an eye on your student Gmail account. So that's different than your Canvas email. You also have a student Gmail account, and many of us, myself and Ms. Tarkington, the student services coordinator, we will send you invites, as will your instructors, to these Google Hangout meets, different Zoom conferences, Microsoft Team events. So we have to utilize that student email to tag you in these virtual events we're doing. Some are for your courses, but some are for student growth, kind of like this event today and others to come later in the year. So when it comes to charitable works, I always say reach out to the faculty if you need support building an organization to support that thing which you're passionate in. So I know we have done that in the past, and we've created different groups to support that. And we're working to do that now this year with our new civic leadership committee and the different clubs to come. So that's why I say feedback is always everything. And if you want something on this campus, we're going to do our best to try to guess it. But we love student feedback and student passion that much more. So together we're a team. And that's what I really think is important to remember with student organizations and getting involved.
Absolutely. The Allied Health Club is going to be actively working with youth villages starting in September here, kind of promoting their Christmas drive and their Christmas fundraiser. So we will be sending out all Allied, of course, any Allied Health student that's building and coding, medical assisting, and pharmacy tech. Obviously that's something we've been doing. Obviously, criminal justice students are invited as well. Business, it's an all-in affair here. But the Allied Health Club is going to spearhead this partnership with youth villages to kind of do their Christmas fundraising. It's kind of like an adopt an angel kind of situation. But we've worked with similar things in the past. We've had great turnout from the students. Looking forward to doing it again.
Awesome. And that's another thing that's important to remember. Just because you may think, oh, I'm not a health major, how does the health industry actually play into your future career? That's still in criminal justice and the business world. So you can still find yourself in those industries with the degree. My three here in the middle, and then we'll let Mr. Overstreet close out with his organization. So mine are all relatively new. Two here, the DaymarVotes Committee is actually the name of our new to come student-led organization to promote civic engagement, voter education, and voter turnout on the Daymar campus. And we have an action plan from 2020 to 2022 to execute. And we'll be using this election year as our our inaugural year, as it were, as a jumping off point. So this is one thing, it is nonpartisan, not bipartisan, nonpartisan. So a lot of people do get confused with those terms. There are more than two political parties. The DaymarVotes Committee recognizes all of those. We recognize everyone has a voice here. So we will start having events to promote that and the voice of our students each term. And then we're also looking to start the Student Government Association out of the DaymarVotes Committee, and we will be sending out potential for nominees. I hope by the fall term. The goal is to line it up with the general election. So be thinking of which students, if you're a student who wants to run for political office, even for our small campus, consider it. That's what this is all about, to give you guys an opportunity to have your voices be heard at our platform as much as you can. And then the National Technical Honor Society is just that. It's an honor society for our students. You must have a 3.0 GPA to join, and it is a $30 lifetime membership fee, but that membership fee gets you so many more benefits. I'm still a member from when I was in college. So I still attend webinars. I use my society membership for professional development even today. And you bet your everything it was on my resume. So it's a very important tool, and that can really help you. You also get special regalia when you graduate in addition to your normal honors. So if you received a DASH award and you want to stay on that president's list, National Technical Honor Society is a second level of regalia. So you'll be all decked out for graduation. Mr. Overstreet, would you like to talk about the Student Veterans of America and everything you guys do?
Yes, I would. Oh. Sorry, let me turn. I would. First, I'd like to give a disclaimer when we talk about Student Veterans of America. I am not a veteran, but veterans are very important to me. Both my grandfathers were veterans during World War II, and my adopted son is a veteran that just come back this year from Afghanistan. So veterans are very close to my heart. So we started this organization because we have a lot of veterans that attend our Murfreesboro campus. And it's important for us to make sure that they have the support that they need while attending Daymar College and after through the Veterans of America. Veterans of America is an organization that has organizations that almost every state in the union. They allow veterans to come together and discuss issues that are important to them. They allow them to come and have kind of a place for them to just be amongst themselves and get support from one another in making sure that they achieve their educational goals.
Yeah, it's one of I'm really glad we have that basis. I'm like you, not a veteran personally. My godfather, both grandparents, it's like every grandparent, great great and great great great. So I feel you on that, and it's really important to have that support group on campus for those students, and it helps other students that might be interested or interact. They welcome everybody. So I really like the sense of community you guys provide for us. So these are just a few things for our national and state partners. So what is DaymarVotes? It's still, it's relatively new, and it is one of the reasons I wanted to get everybody together today, just to explain what is civic leadership and how these different organizations are helping us achieve these goals. So the Tennessee Campus Democracy Network and the All-In Campus Democracy Challenge are our main partners. And they're helping us form an action plan for the first time ever for our campus to try to get voter turnout and voter education with young adult voters and student voters in higher education to be over 50%. And our goal is that for our campus, by the year 2022, for all of our students to be registered to vote and for us to provide those resources for you if you do not have them. So many libraries, we already do this when we're on ground. So it's something we're still working to try to figure out how to accommodate in the virtual setting. And this isn't a political motive. So giving you your rights, education, and access to your rights, that's really what this committee is all about. If you all received a phone call from me back in July on the Tennessee voter registration day for our local election, I explained to a lot of my students that told me not interested in that, this was their one chance to have their voice heard. And for those of you that may have read even the newsletter this month for August, I tried to embody that theme because this is Women's Suffrage Month. So the 19th Amendment was ratified it was August 19th, but kind of for COVID, they've made it a month-long celebration. And that one letter that mom wrote, the Congressman Harry Burton, that really did change his vote. He's a Republican voter. He was not for ratification, but in the last minute, he read his mom's letter and just voted yes. So if you really don't think you have a voice and that your voice doesn't mean anything, one, I urge you to look on the news anywhere today. So yes, there's a lot going on, both good and bad. A lot of it's scary even. It might frighten you. But there is one thing that's happening in a lot of these peaceful protests. People's voices are being heard for the first time. A lot of young voices have been heard for the first time. People that can't even vote yet, speaking out on issues about climate change, gun control, and then criminal justice reform, and all these things that really, when I was in high school, I didn't have time for it. And it's not that I didn't have time for it. It's just like, this is not something we were thinking about 10, 15, 20 years ago. And, these guys are really standing up and being that brave movement that, I wish I was back then. So it's inspired me too. And that's really what it is. It's bringing all types of people together. So that's the main goal. And the student learn, student vote, lastly, they're the people that's really helping us try to do this and help us work through data and provide me with resources to be the best voter education advisor I can be.
Hey,
Yes, Dr. Mitchum.
yes, matter of fact, I'll say a couple of things about voting and how important it is. And the thing is no, we're not saying, be a politician, but definitely be educated in exercising your right to vote, because it's very important. And it doesn't matter, what party lines or whatnot, but you're voicing, piggybacking off of what you were saying. And so there are things too that you need to be, that students should be educated on, whether it's local government, state government, federal government, and about the laws that are made, and also too how the electoral college works. I think it's a good way to kind of understand how all that flows and how it impacts everyone individually. So I think having these organizations will open those horizons, and also too, the impacts to the educational side too as well. And then too, just as for being involved in any of these organizations that we do have on campus, I think it's so important to have those because it does enhance the educational process as well. So, going to school is just more than just books and, doing assignments, quizzes, and homework. But it is also good to be involved and be engaged because, like I say, that definitely helps the educational process.
Well, in something I found, I was a 50-50 in college. I was super involved in high school, right? Because I wanted to get into college. And then once I got into college, I was like, man, I got to take a break. Because I was that kid that was in 80 clubs. Like, you could measure the involvement with a ruler by my yearbook picture. So it really became, what do I want to be involved in? So no, we're not asking you to be involved with everything. And the DaymarVotes, that's not something you even have to come to every time. It's going to be student-led organization. If you need our resources and you need us and you need to talk to someone, that's what DaymarVotes is about. And yes, there'll be activities and there'll be a lot of fun stuff to come, but this is not like a pressured thing. So, and then on top of that, it really will help you be a better professional later. Having that sense of community, knowing how to work with different people outside of a classroom setting where it feels forced, or it could feel forced because you're like, this is for a grade. It will really help you grow as a team leader too. So if you're looking to get in on that, these types of things are all for you. Sadly, I'm going to just admit it. The video's probably not going to play because of I'm recording this live, so I will again attach this in the email I send out to everybody. And I think I've just got a couple more slides here. Just to really, these are my tips, to wrap it up. So set goals when it comes to getting involved. I'm a list person. You may have your own thing. I'm a huge list person. So that's why I urge everybody, if you don't know where to start when it comes to volunteering, and especially if you're afraid to vote or afraid to even register to vote and you need someone to talk to and proper information, write down 5 reasons or 5 goals that you have to make the world a better place. And I urge you to do this just so you can learn a little bit more about how you see the world. And you don't have to show these to anybody. These are for you. So take your 5 things that you want to do to make the world a better place. And then we will help you find if you really need it or start looking on your own. But that's my thing. That's where that's how it helped me get into volunteering and activism. I can tell a little bit about my story. My senior year of high school, I was our Beta Club honor the treasurer, and so I converted the lunch hour into the Humanities Help Hour in the cafe, and we would pick a monthly charity, and then kids would donate their spare change to from the Coke machine and stuff, and then I would send that off to a charity each month, and the school approved it. And I did not think my little rural high school in Tennessee would approve that. The total population of this high school was 500 students. So that's, if you're from a big town, you're like, wow, that was my one high school graduating class. But needless to say, so set those goals, you guys. You can achieve it. And then, lastly, look to the future. So use the voice you have today to tell the world the story of your future tomorrow. And yes, the storytelling metaphor is on purpose because of the LRC Roundtable. I've got to bring that to the table, you guys. So that was another thing I heard from our students. My voice my vote doesn't matter. It does matter. So that's why I say stop thinking of it as my vote's just something that's going to be lost in the mail or pushed aside. And I know that anxiety's there right now for everybody, but it's been there for us in every election. So you've got to trust in your voice, trust in your vote. If you need help with where to go, how to register, and how to cast your voice for the future you want, please reach out to the DaymarVotes committee. Anyone on this call will be happy to help you and send you in the right direction.
And Cassandra, you are very correct. Your vote, your voice, it does matter. It's that one vote, especially if you get educated how the electoral college works.
Exactly.
That vote does matter.
Yeah.
And also, too, we are all put here for a reason. We're all put here for a reason. And so part of that, too, is it's our responsibility to use that voice that we do have to impact others in all types of ways. And so I think, definitely being engaged in a lot of these groups, a lot of students will be able to find that voice that they didn't know that they had before, and realize, that they have this gift of doing something, this passion, that will be able to influence and impact others.
I love that you said that because it segues perfectly to my final note here. So this is the late, great John Lewis, who I actually have studied quite a bit. And
awesome.
When I had a comic book club at the local library, he wrote a comic book about his march and about all of his civil rights work. And he showed it at Comic-Con, and he led a civil rights march through Comic-Con at the debut for his graphic novel. So he is not only a very serious politician that has fought for us, but a very soulful guy, fun, artistic. And this is my favorite quote of his that's really dry. And this is why I wanted to start the DaymarVotes. It's almost, if I could dedicate it to this guy, I would. So the vote is precious. It is almost sacred. It is the most powerful, nonviolent tool we have in a democratic society, and we've got to use it. And I apologize for typing so fast because I was so excited to put this quote in here and having the typo on have. But I will definitely update it for later use. And in memory of the late, great John Lewis, I urge you all to think about it in this way. It is almost sacred. It's the one thing you do get in this world. You may not get much, but when you turn 18 in this country, this is the one thing you will have, regardless of how much money you make, what your job is, or anything else. So that's why I urge all of you to get involved and reach out to me if you need help. And as always, thank you for attending. You guys want to add anything at the end, you may, but I think that's a wrap for us, and I hope you enjoyed our first live attempt of the LRC Roundtable.
Thank you very much. I would just like to finish in closing by, I think it was a great statesman once said that the freedoms that we enjoy in a democratic society are totally predicated on our responsibility to maintain it. And obviously voting is a primary way that we do so. And if anything, obviously the whole idea of civic duty comes to the fact that if we want to maintain freedom, we have to make sure to get out there and exercise everything that we've talked about in this roundtable. I think it was fantastic. Thank you for putting that together.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, great.
And I really thank you guys for all being involved. And I really look forward to doing this for our fall quarter. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra.